Well, hello. Welcome once again to Stuff and Things, where I like to talk about stuff and occasionally even things. I'm your good friend Bradley, and today is a Sunday Stuff and Things. And on this Sunday Stuff and Things, we have stuff and things to talk about, including upcoming videos, things that you can look forward to on Stuff and Things YouTube and Stuff and Things Patreon. We're going to talk about some big news on the photography front. Something I've been talking about for a while. If you've been watching my videos, you will know that I have been contemplating some gear, and I was talking about selling a bunch of stuff, and we'll get into that a little bit. We're going to talk about a really cool experiment in the pipe realm. Our good friend Mike from Alaska, who sent that really nice care package a couple weeks back, he sent me this cool thing that I'm going to open now. I actually have it in my bag here. Where is it? This, right here. From our good friend Mike. Oh, that doesn't show his address, does it? Maybe I'll have to block that out. From our good friend Mike in Alaska. And we're going to talk about that. It's like a cool kind of home blending experiment that I'm going to take part in. And then just interesting, fun stuff we'll talk about there. And then we'll have your questions, comments, and feedback and hashtag askstuffandthings. And then the very end of the show will be Patreon shout-outs and updates, what you can look forward to exclusively on Patreon. Let's get into it. All right, gang. So this coming week on Stuff and Things YouTube and Stuff and Things Patreon will be finally the two famous photo books. I can't remember exactly how I titled this video, but it's two important photo books, two seminal photo books, two really, really interesting photo books that are currently available. They are classics. They are extremely influential in the history of American photography. It is Walker Evans' American Photographs, and then Robert Frank, The Americans. Two photo books. The first one came out in 1938. The second one came out in 1958, I believe. So a generation apart, but extremely influential, extremely important. And I talk about those books and show them to you in that episode, which is coming up this Wednesday. Monday on Patreon. You get everything early and ad-free on Patreon. After that, the following week, exclusive to Patreon, will be Can I Guess the Mystery Blend? So our good friend and Patreon supporter, Les Brady, sent me an unmarked jar of a blend. And my challenge was to try to figure out what was in it. And so I did an episode. I think it's really fun. And it's going to be fun when it finally airs, because then Les can let me know in the comments how close I was to getting the blend. I actually do a guess of the specific blend. I also talk about, you know, the components and the genre, what I think it is, but then I do guess an actual blend. I don't think I got anywhere close to the actual blend. We'll see. But check that video out exclusively on Patreon. And then the week after that will be a review of this. You see me wearing a replica of an M-1951 fishtail parka. This is a USGI parka. Well, this one isn't. This is a replica of a USGI parka. I think it was first kind of distributed to the troops during the Korean War. And this is a really nice replica by a company called Bronson Manufacturing. I will let you see this a little bit. Very, very nice parka. This is a size large, which is supposed to be for a size 40 to 43 inch chest, I think. And yeah, I'm doing a review of this, and it's really cool. It's actually really reasonably priced. And I don't know, I may have talked about this on the channel before, but back in the day when I was in college in LA, I got involved in the kind of mod revival scene in LA at the time. And we wore parkas. At the time, I had a M-1965 fishtail parka because the 51s weren't really available widely anymore in Army surplus stores. But yeah, this is very nostalgic for me, and I think this is just a really nice, practical jacket. Right now, it's really breezy. It's probably about 60 degrees here. It's in late June, mid-June, and it's perfect for this weather at the moment. And I haven't been able to wear it in rain yet or anything, but I'm assuming it'll hold up well for that. So this is going to be a fun review. Check that out on Stuff and Things YouTube and Stuff and Things Patreon, and then we'll have a lot more cool photography stuff coming up on this channel. Stuff I'm very excited about and very excited to show you. So stay tuned. Lots of good stuff exclusive to Patreon, but then for everybody on Stuff and Things YouTube. All right. So I don't know how much I want to reveal here, but let's just say I talked a couple weeks ago about how I was doing a clear out, trying to do a spring cleaning, getting rid of a bunch of stuff that I didn't think I needed anymore. Accoutrement for old hobbies, things that I just wasn't using. And I made a deal with myself that if I sold all this stuff, I would be allowed to use half of the money for a new piece of photographic equipment. The rest I would just put in savings or bills, whatever. I have kept that deal. I haven't sold everything yet, but I've sold a lot of things and made, you know, a lot of room in my living space, cleared out a bunch of bulky stuff that I just don't need. And I was able to find a really good deal from a very nice man in Nova Scotia for a particular camera. And with the offer I made him and then the Canadian exchange rate right now, I live in the US, so I have the US dollars. Dollar to Canadian dollar, the US dollar to Canadian dollar exchange rate is very favorable at the moment, at least if you're American. And so I just couldn't pass this thing up. I cannot wait for it to arrive. It's supposed to arrive soon, and there will be lots of videos on it. If you've been watching and you know what I've been discussing recently, you will probably know what this thing is, or you'll be in the general ballpark as to what this thing is. But I cannot wait to get it, and I cannot wait to tell you about it. So stay tuned on the channel. Maybe I'll be posting stuff on Instagram as well, but it's going to be exciting. Very, very exciting. Something else that's exciting, it's not flipping. It won't make the noise. There we go. This thing here, from our good friend Mike in Alaska, and I have a little note from Mike. Let me read this now. Here we go. Mike from Alaska, experiment. So this is from an email that Mike sent me a while back. My idea is to press Balkan Supreme for about 2 to 3 weeks and then prepare samples using 3 different methods. Now, what is this thing? This is sous vide? Is that the thing? I don't know what that is. A sous vide it's like the thing that heats up water, right? I don't know. Sous vide at 190 degrees, oven at 200 degrees, and instant pot at 220 degrees. Each for durations of 2, 4, and 6 hours. To keep things manageable, however, I might focus on the 2 and 4 hour samples. For a point of comparison, I also plan to include a cellared, unaltered sample of Balkan Supreme for reviewers to evaluate. So basically, preparing the same blend in several different ways, and then he wants people to test that blend or the different versions of that blend and see what they think. So I'm going to make sure I don't show his address here. Let me open it from this side. We're going to open this up. Wow, this is like perfumed. That's interesting. You know, when I picked this up from my P.O. box, my car smelled really good, and I wasn't sure what that was. It was this. Oh my Lord. That's not just the blend, is it? That smells amazing. So I think there's another note in here from our good friend in Alaska named Mike. So, okay, wow, he's got a whole thing here. Oh, I dropped something. I guess this is a sticker. I think I will cause problems on purpose. All right, let me put some of this stuff away so it doesn't all blow away. It's rather breezy out here right now. Okay, so we have a note from Mike. Okay, wow, this is long. We won't read all this, but it says, "Dear friend, I hope this note finds you well, and with a pipe in hand, I am incredibly excited and filled with the smoky anticipation of latakia to share that my recent bold flavors experiment is ready for sampling. For this round, I've chosen Orongo Balkan Supreme as the base blend. In your sample kit, which is intended to be enjoyed like a tasting flight of beers, you'll find 10 grams of the Balkan Supreme in its original loose form, enough for 2 to 3 bowls to establish a clean baseline, 4 gram samples of the same blend processed with the following heat-based methods. So these are the methods we mentioned before. And then a no heat press sample, 4 grams pressed using a noodle extruder for 10 days under steady pressure." Interesting. Oh, wow, I think my exposure has changed drastically. I'll have to try to fix that in post. These variations were carefully developed to explore how heat and pressure impact the flavor, aroma, burn, and texture of the tea. But none of that matters without your expert input. Your palates are what brings this experiment to life. So he has all these kind of guidelines for how he wants us to try to evaluate these blends. And then it says, here we have a flavor meter and a flavor wheel. So I don't know if this is going to come up very well on camera at the moment. And I can't see my screen, so I can't, it could be completely black right now on video. The sun was hiding and I had a good exposure, and now the sun has popped out and I think I'm totally backlit and it's all horrible. But he has body from very mild to full, flavor from very mild to full, strength from very mild to full. Then he has additional notes, a flavor wheel with bitter, spicy, earthy, woody, nutty, cream, chocolate, toffee, sweet, floral, fruity, sour, toasted, herbal, leather. And he's got 2 versions of that. So this is going to be really fun. I'm looking forward to trying this out. I'm going to pop this back in so I don't lose this as well. And again, this will be a video that I post on Patreon for the Patreon supporters, because there will be essing of peas involved. But inside here, we have, oh wow, he really packed this in a cool way. We've got our cellared sample of Balkan Supreme, noodle press for 10 days of the Balkan Supreme. Then we have our sous vide 2 hours, oven method 2 hours, pressure cooker 2 hours. Right there. And then sous vide 4 hours, oven 4 hours, pressure cooker 4 hours, right there. So 8 samples of this blend, and this is going to be interesting. I need to think about methodology here, because, you know, if you're essing the same, well, not the same blend, but versions of the same blend, you know, you have to kind of be able to cleanse your palate, because you'll just start tasting the same things. If you just go all at once. Yeah, I'm not sure how I'm going to do this. I don't think it could really hold up to doing 2 videos, but I'll have to figure out exactly how I want to divide up the different blends and how I'm sampling them. I'm not going to have like 8 different pipes going at once. Like, I don't know, but very fascinating stuff. Maybe I'll kind of try it out and then do a summary video or something. But fun idea. Thanks so much, Mike, for sending this along, and you'll be seeing something about it fairly soon on Patreon, probably within the next month or so. Cool. All right, gang, but now it is time for hashtag askstuffandthings. I'm looking at my screen and I honestly can't tell what the camera is recording right now. Let's hope it's not too horrible. If I do a little extra exposure, maybe I won't be as backlit, or maybe that's even worse. I don't know. You guys know I'm here. You can hear my voice. So, every week, I like to receive comments from people. If you would like to ask me a question, you can tweet, but you probably shouldn't, at SAT Bradley with the hashtag askstuffandthings. If you're a Patreon supporter, you can write to me via Patreon and go right to the front of the line, or you can leave questions, comments, and feedback in the comment section of my YouTube videos. We have something from @AshesOfThePhoenix, who says, "Hey Brad dude, I haven't commented in a long time, but I've been rewatching your Stuff and Things plays, watched all your Valheim playthrough, now I'm on your Outer Wilds playthrough, then I'll watch your Subnautica playthrough. Are you excited about Subnautica 2 coming out? Also, are you going to get a Switch 2? So I wanted to highlight this, first of all, because I appreciate the fact that Ashes of the Phoenix is going back and watching these old videos on my Stuff and Things Plays channel. That's really cool. Thank you. I don't plan on getting Subnautica 2 right away. Maybe I will. I don't think I can even play it. I have a Mac now. I guess it'll probably come out on consoles, but that really seems like a mouse and keyboard kind of game for me. We'll see. And then, am I going to get Switch 2? Eventually. I'm not in a huge hurry to get it. I don't want to spend the money on it right now. And then also, I'll probably wait until there are more Nintendo first-party titles out for it. But I will get one eventually, and maybe I'll do a Stuff and Things Play video on that here and there. But yeah, just a reminder to you guys, Stuff and Things Plays still exists. I'm not posting videos to it now, but all of those playthroughs, hundreds and hundreds of episodes with hundreds of hours of content are still on Stuff and Things Plays. A lot of good stuff there. Then we have @NPFouts1983, who says, "Bradley, I just went into your playlists and noticed that your pipe tea reviews are gone. I watch your entire pipe tea reviews playlist every year. I go through from start to finish. It's my favorite. I can't imagine never seeing them again. I was devastated to see that they were gone, which I imagine you are as well. Have you thought about starting a Rumble channel or anything? I used to watch a Seagar channel that went through crap with YouTube, and he went to Rumble because they don't ban this kind of stuff. Either way, I love your content and will be a subscriber for Mike. For Mike? For life. Thank you so much at MPFouts1983 for that. Yeah, it's interesting because I feel like I've talked about this to death, but I still get people asking comments or leaving comments about this. The pipe stuff is gone. Anything that was on YouTube that shows essing of peas had to be taken off in order for me to get back into the YouTube Partner Program. I'm migrating all that stuff onto Patreon. Eventually, there will be an entire archive of all the old pipe tea reviews on Patreon. So it's going to be a cool resource. I'm slowly loading them up just because I don't want to overload everything, and I also I don't have the bandwidth on Patreon to just put like hundreds of videos on there at once. But if you want to join up on Patreon, $5 a month, and you will get access to those pipe videos. And we're kind of doing week by week, going through those old reviews, and eventually we will have the entire archive. So good stuff there. And then at EA Fowler also said, what happened to your pipe tea reviews? See above. Now, we have some feedback from last week's Sunday Stuff and Things. This is from @Orochi_001, who says, does it hurt this channel if you run another one solely dedicated to essing peas? I've unsubbed from a bunch of folks who face the same issue as you and have pivoted to a pile of stuff I couldn't be, and who have pivoted to a pile of stuff I couldn't be less interested in. I'll be sticking around here for now, though. I appreciate that, Orochi. And as I mentioned above, or previously, yeah, well, maybe not in this episode, but in past episodes when I was discussing this, when I got that initial email from YouTube saying that they had demonetized my channel and kicked me out of the partner program for my pipe essing videos, they said that if I tried to repost any of those on my other channels, like Working or S&T Plays, which are monetized, that my entire network would be taken off of YouTube. So basically, under no uncertain terms, or in no uncertain terms, they said I could not do that. So I'm not going to do that. I'm just not posting any more stuff on YouTube where it shows me essing a pea. That's just not happening. So Patreon is where it has to go. At Tom Brown 1898 says, as far as relieving yourself of the accoutrement of old hobbies, shut up. My former brother-in-law would acquire a new hobby almost monthly. My sister was tolerant of most of them, but when Hank got into exotic birds, he bought a cockatiel that drove my sister nuts with his vocalizations. Hank owned a commercial painting business and one day was spraying his own house exterior. Enough fumes must have gotten inside because the bird fell from his perch dead. My sister consoled him, but forbid him to get another bird. Yeah, my sister had a Quaker parrot. So they're the little green parrots. And that was the loudest thing you could ever imagine. I love birds. I think they're cool. I think they're smart. They kind of freak me out, though, because every time I see a cockatiel or like what's the big one? Big blue, red, and green parrot. What the heck are those called? I just imagine them slicing off my finger. And I will interact with the birds. I'm not so scared that I won't touch them or anything, but they could just have your finger right off. And you never know. You can't really read them very well. At least I can't. We have at MaxFlame11 who says, I've been doing concrete work in New York for 25 years. I find that I hurt my back after being off for a while. And I'm not going to let it happen again. You got to stay on your game every day of the year. Yeah, that's kind of true. If you don't use it, you're going to lose it. Like your body kind of develops this tolerance to stress and hard work. And I mean, there is never a time when I'm off for a really long time, but if I've taken a vacation, which I haven't done in years and years, but if I were to do that and was off for a couple weeks, it's tough. It's tough to get back into it. Your body feels like it's just going to fall apart again. And then Max says, nothing wrong with many hobbies. Focus on the ones that bring you the most happiness. Yes, there's only so much time. Say I wanted to study 5 different languages. Learning a few words in each would still be better than getting overwhelmed and learning none. I suppose that's true. And yeah, I do kind of enjoy having a little bit of knowledge about a lot of things, but I definitely am really drilling down into photography. I mean, that is my kind of overriding passion right now. And there will be lots more to come on this YouTube channel. But the pipe stuff will still continue on Patreon. Then we have a little bit of feedback from the Blend Spotlight GNP Fine Teas Point Barrow a really interesting aromatic blend that was sent to me by our good friend Mike in Alaska, and that was an exclusive Patreon video from last week. Chris Portislander says, "This reminds me of my experience with Cornell and Deal's Autumn Evening. I usually prefer straight burley and Virginia blends, but that is one honest aromatic I can enjoy every now and then." I feel like I've had Autumn Evening, but I can't say for sure. I'll have to look into that. I have like archives of everything I've ever done, and I did documents of everything I ever did as well, just so I'd be able to categorize and keep track of everything as I'm reposting stuff on Patreon. So I'm going to look into that. I can't actually remember, but it seems super familiar. But anyway, Point Barrow, really interesting blend. And for a Cavendish-based blend that I should hate, I did not. And that video is on Patreon right now, so check that out. Thanks for all that feedback. Please keep it coming in. It really helps make the show go. All right, gang, but now it is time for the very best part of the show, and that is where we thank our Patreon supporters. Remember, if you would like to support the channels on Patreon, there is a link in the description box below, and it is much appreciated. It is basically the main way you can show your love for the Stuff and Things content, both Stuff and Things YouTube and Stuff and Things Patreon. It also gets you ad-free and early access to all the videos that I post on YouTube and exclusive Patreon-only pipe videos every single week. So, every week we like to shout out those who support the channels at $25 or more a month, the producers of Stuff and Things. People like Jason Buckner, Arcturus, Ashes of the Phoenix, Jonathon Proctor, The Friendly Piper, GreatGrol, Glenn, Just Glenn, David Severin, Nicholas James, Kyle Whitmore, Mr. Gibson, and Chris Caughey. And of course, the Maniacs, the crazy people who support the channels at $100 a month, people like just the amazingly stolid and dependable Bob Magee. And we'll never forget our dearly departed friend and Hall of Fame member, Peter Straub. Gang, what can you look forward to exclusively on Patreon this week? Well, we will have the original review of Dunhill Royal Yacht. Whoa. A blend I did not love way back in April of 2015 when I reviewed it initially. And I don't think... No, did I do a revisited? I might have done a revisited. I did do a revisited of Royal Yacht, but I hadn't had it since then, since that original review. I didn't like it back then. I think I liked it maybe slightly more, or I didn't hate it as much in the revisited episode. But this original review, over 10 years old, is posting this Thursday exclusively to Patreon. Gang, stay tuned. There's a lot of good stuff coming up and a lot of really exciting things coming up on the channel, things that I'm really excited to show you, and especially that bit of kit that I will be receiving soon. That's going to have a lot of content wrapped up in it. I'm really excited. I'm excited for all the cool pipe stuff going on. I'm really excited to do that little survey that Mike sent as well. So many good stuff, so many good things, so much good stuff and things coming up on YouTube and Patreon. But until next time, until we meet again, I've been your good friend Bradley. You've been the audience. This has been Stuff and Things on a Sunday Stuff and Things. I'll see you later. Look at this parka. This is nice, huh? Pretty good. Pretty good.